All right, everybody. I have a really cool, unique melodic death metal band that I'd like to introduce everybody to. I am brand new to them. I've only been checking them out for maybe what? I messaged you guys maybe a little over a week ago, maybe a little longer than that. And I'm like, gotta get these guys on here and see what they're about. Finally got to hear a song, and I am not disappointed. I am very impressed by it. My expectations, I set them low on purpose for anything in life, right?
Sure,
Not because I was expecting to be let down, but just because, you know. And I gotta tell you, Wayfarer, man, that's the smart one to pick. I haven't heard the rest of the album yet, but I totally understand why that one was picked. But you guys are called Eldercall for those that are going to be watching this, and I believe you're from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, and formed from the ashes, so to speak, with other members from a band called Obelisk, correct?
Right. Yes, sir.
All right, just making sure I have my peas in a pod or lined up, whatever, with that. So glad you guys are here. Why don't we say who you three are in the band and what you do real quick? Hey, bud.
Oh, here he comes.
Yeah, he's got to check out what's going on.
What's his name, though?
Elliot.
Elliot?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
His name.
All right.
Well, I'm Shane, and
What do you do?
I play the keyboard.
Wow. So you're the guy behind the catchiness in the song.
Some of it. Some
Yeah.
of it.
Don't let him be humble.
Don't let
Yes. Yes. I'm Alan. I play guitar.
Yeah. Some
And-
sick riffs, man.
He's behind a lot of the main construction skeletons of the songs.
And I'm Waleed, and I do bass and vocals.
Nice. Your vocals are pretty kick-ass, dude. Like, really. So I just got to get this out of the way really quickly. So I heard your names, and I know who you are, but my brain likes to dump, and I might forget briefly
That is okay.
That's okay.
and have to remember who you are. I try not to do that as best I can, but I get distracted real easy, especially with this dude. next
Of
to me.
course, yeah.
So,
Dude, it's fine. You have 3 names to try to remember. We got 1.
Yeah.
And yours is on the screen.
Yeah, and yours is on the screen. Yeah.
so anyway, let's talk about how Eldercall came to be from the ashes of Obelisk. How did that start?
Okay. Well, Alan, I'll let you kind of
You want to tackle that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tackle that one. So it basically started with as Obelisk was sort of like winding down, and the whole band was basically not. So when the basically the last OG member besides these two left, I had basically kind of been at that point was kind of reaching the position of writing, and it just I don't know, it just didn't feel right to keep on calling it Obelisk.
Right.
It just really wasn't Obelisk anymore. It didn't like the stuff that I had already like started doing in the background, sort of like I was already writing personally for myself as like a solo project that I had already labeled as Eldercall.
Right.
I called it Eldercall in the like my little solo project in the background. Our drinks just arrived.
Yeah, our guy.
That Dr. Pepper?
Yes, sir. We're good boys.
Oh, yeah.
Orange vanilla Coke, good. After he left, it just didn't feel right to keep on calling it Obelisk because the sounds had already changed. Like the musical direction was already on its way to a different direction, So I wanted to, I don't know, I personally kind of started like, hey, should we change our name? And then it started evolving into, let's just change like a whole new band. We were just going to like shut Obelisk down and then rise from the ashes as Eldercall. And all of that basically just came about from, we wanted to do things a little more, we wanted our music to be a little more personal, I suppose. We chose the name Eldercall because I had initially come up with it as like an idea of you find a point in your life where it's like, oh, this is what I want to do. You feel like you're drawn to it. You feel what you're supposed to do. This is what you want to do your whole life. This one thing, you find your life's passion.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like it comes from somewhere else, somewhere primordial. Somewhere more external. It kind of made me think, elder, like that, like elder gods or some
Right.
whatever.
Something like
Something greater than-
disjointed,
Something greater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Can't imagine it.
Something
unfathomable. Yeah, something unfathomable source or
Yes.
something.
Like higher power, something.
Yeah,
just anything.
Kinda, yeah.
So like that's the elder, and then like the call was that feeling of you feel called to do this.
It's talking to you.
It's talking specifically to you. So I called it. I had the side project, my little solo project. I called it Eldercall, and after we had been talking about changing the name for so long, we tried other names for a while, and then they finally just was like, "Do you want to just use Eldercall?"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, it sounds good."
I'm like, "All right, sure." I mean, but I already had like one or two tracks that I was already like working on at the time. So, and one of them is what's going to be coming out as well. So that's the next.
Yep.
And I think I know the name of it. But that's cool, man. I really like the name. It those. So back in like the late '90s, I was playing the Super Nintendo a lot, and the cartridges would have like for RPGs or some kind of adventure name, and the art for that would kind of depict some kind of epic adventure or something like that. It kind of had like this mystical kind of look to it, or magical kind of eye drawing kind of look to it. And the name kind of makes me think back to that. And it gave me that same kind of feeling, almost a little bit nostalgic of, kind of feeling.
That makes us happy to hear.
Yeah. I think that's a big reason why the art for the album catches my eye so much too, is just because it kind of, it harkens back to a time in my life of wonder and mystery. And like, I look at that, and I think when I sent you a message, I was describing that it made me feel like it was kind of like a melancholy or forlorn kind of depiction, but like hopeful in some ways, because it looks like a reaper is in the middle of this flower field, and then like you got like a moon up top and like with bluish kind of sky, so it doesn't feel completely like dark or hopeless. It's got like light there and stuff, and so like I'm looking at it like that's really clever. So when I heard the song, I kind of got the same feeling when I heard Wayfarer, for those that are watching. And I'm like, so when I'm listening to this, it also makes me want to go and just launch a campaign of D&D. Just have the background, it's like epic boss battle music too.
You're literally
checking, nailing everything.
You're nailing it all, my guy. You're nailing it all.
And might I point out, I love your Dragon Ball Z shirt. That's my favorite show of all time.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah.
He's got the Ozaru.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I just gotta say, I'm very pleasantly surprised and impressed with what I've heard so far, and I'm really eager to hear the rest of it so I can write up the review that I'm promising you guys, because I just want to hear the full concept like right now. I'm like, so I hear something and I'm already wondering, okay, what's after this? And I can't help that. It's with movies, a book, or just in life in general. I'm always thinking about what's coming.
Right.
And that's a good thing with you guys. If someone's listening to the song that you just put out and they're wanting to hear more, you've done it right. Because they're not going, okay, that's cool, but I don't know if I'll come back to it. I'm coming back to that song over and over and over again.
Thank you.
Waiting for the part 2.
Yeah.
But I trailed off there. I do that a lot in these interviews because I just that's good. But I want you guys to kind of dive into how you decide to settle on this melodic kind of death metal, and there's other elements in there too, man. I feel like there's a little bit of progressive in there. There's a little bit of like this alternative metal that kind of peeks its way in there. The keyboards, like it makes it epic. Like I'm just sitting there doing this the whole entire song, and a lot of it has to do with the keyboards and the galloping guitars, and just the whole thing, man. So tell me how you guys were able to do it that way with the full album. Like dive into that, the concept, the sounds, lyrical themes, just the whole shebang as best you can.
Where do we start?
I guess we can talk about influences first and kind of work from there.
Yeah, it kind of stems from that anyway. Like so the reason why it kind of has that sort of, there's a little sound of this, that, and another is we really are a bit of a frog in a blender sort of thing.
Yeah. We're a lot of people that listen to different things, but we also enjoy a lot of the exact same things. It's just some of us are like more interested in a different avenue than another is. But
Right.
our common thing we all enjoy is melodic death metal.
And that's kind of
our baseline.
Yeah. The baseline.
And I think that's how we saddle all the other concepts or like ideas that you've been able to glean within that, because like Melodeath is such a great palette to be able to add and enjoy and create within. So we've been able to really have that flexibility.
It's a very fun thing.
And it is very fun. And Wayfarer is definitely one of our more like fun songs for sure. There's a lot of fun in there, and there's another one on the album called Breaking that's even more like straight up just awesome Melodeath. But the more when you have access to the album, you'll see that we really we do lean more into some other things, so in certain other songs.
Yeah, it's like we're not always like breakneck speed or anything. We've got like mid tempos and slower songs. So
I like change ups in an album, like what I'm expecting from you guys. I like those left turns or those things you wouldn't expect a Melodeath band to try. The fact that you guys are doing that already speaks volumes to the kind of musicians you are and the kind of minds that you have, because I've always been the kind of guy that I don't like bands that want to stick in a confined box. You got to break out of that box, man. Like it might work for bands like AC/DC and Metallica, some big names. I love those bands, but they don't branch out and try new things super often.
Yeah,
they'll have change ups in songs, or whatever. But it sounds like you guys really like to just go, yeah, we're gonna do this. Let's see what they think of it.
Yeah, that's basically what we do.
Like we really
if
are.
it sounds good, we do it.
That's sort of always been our thing. Is even before Eldercall, even like during the Obelisk days, it was, if it sounded good, play it.
We actually have a little saying amongst us called STS, which is we just call serve the song.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if we're writing something and it kind of feels like it might be kind of going out the regular boundary of what you'd call metal,
right?
It works. And it sounds good.
You guys remember the days long ago where it was almost taboo if you were a certain kind of band to introduce something different into the mix of your sound, and people acted like you were that whole thing of step on a crack, you break your mama's back. It's almost like they acted like that's what was going on. Like the person next to them, all of a sudden their back just snapped or something. Because one example, the band Catatonia. I love Catatonia. When Jonas stopped doing his death growls, he had a vocal thing where he just had to, right?
Yeah.
There were so many people that were like, "Oh, you guys are sold out," even if they knew that he did it because of his voice. He had to. And people were like, "You're a Melodeath band. What are you doing?" It's like, well, he has his voice saying, but then again, they have these elements in their music even back on the very first stuff in the first place. But it was like taboo to people. People did it in Flames. People did it with Soil Work. People do it with Opeth. Just all those. It's like you can't win for losing sometimes.
Right. Yeah. To your point, I mean, like, you think of bands like and I love this band, but like Amon Amarth, where they have found their niche and they don't evolve past that niche, and they've not evolved past that niche. And now we've seen it's starting to get a little bit tired because they haven't really pushed in a lot of different ways and some stuff like that. And the new album was just not what it could have been anyway. But like, and that was something that I think we've always talked about. Is like we didn't want to be that band. We didn't want to be like a Slayer that it's like you put out the same album for 40 years, right?
Right.
So fans, and I understand that fans of Amon Amarth, like people that are diehard Slayer fans, if Slayer changed one thing, they'd fucking die. They'd kill them, right?
Yeah.
That they're kind of locked into that point, but for us, we never even wanted to entertain that idea.
Yeah.
Because music is about being able to be creative.
Creative expression, right. And it shouldn't have a box around it.
We want to be able to write what it is we want to do, what we feel in the moment as we're making it.
Yeah.
And like there is, I mean, like for me, there is a there is a limit. Like, I mean, because like there's like we're in like the metal type sound. I mean, you don't want to go so far off as to like we're just straight up doing jazz now, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Or throw a pop number in there. You know?
Yeah. Because it's like you've picked this niche. You need to stay within the bounds of these niche,
Correct.
but let's push it as far as we can.
Yeah, because you can still push it by staying like, you know, and you can maybe put your toe outside of that line. You know, there's nothing that's saying that you can't, but the point is you don't want to necessarily alienate people.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I always go back to like Chuck Schundler, like with Death. Like he wanted to do a power metal band, but he's like, if I change Death to a power metal band, people will hate it. So you know what I'm going to do? Start another band. And then he got to do his power metal, and he got to he kept Death what Death needed to be. But it's like, but you know, there's so many ways to be able to, like you said, if you wanted to take that left turn, that's how you should do it instead of like totally breaking down.
Otherwise, you could just like integrate a little bit of little power metal in there, and make something completely new.
Exactly.
And so with the album, it sounds like you guys are really able to just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really do. Like it's everything that is coming out is just because we just
enjoy it.
We just enjoy it. It's like we don't really follow a solid formula. We just
here's a riff. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of the time it's because Alan does a lot of the songwriting and especially like establishing skeletons for like what we eventually all sit down and embellish on and create to become the final songs. So a lot of the time it is like Alan sitting alone, coming up with a couple riffs and then showing us and be like, what do you guys think? Mm-hmm. And then we just kind of like, all right, what about this? What about that? What about this?
Rehash it, change it around, move this part over here, you know.
Whenever we get something kind of solid, that's when I like to come in and I will just listen on loop of something that he's done, and I just fill space over top of it. Like I like to just get in there and like a lot of times stuff just comes to my head automatically when I'm listening to it. I'm just like, I know it needs to come over this. And so I just like to put something over it. And it's just that same way with all of us. Like we get to a point, add to it, it goes to someone else, add to it, comes back, adds to it. Then we look at it all like a big whole. What needs to change up. And then we just really, fine it down into a concentrated song to where it's, it plays out fine. There's no rough edges.
Just try to
just trim the fat.
Yeah. How often during the process of the album did you guys, if this even happened, you were trying something and it sounded like something you shouldn't go with, but then you just said, you know what, screw it. Let's actually leave it this way.
Let's see.
There was a couple of times, for me specifically, because a lot of with Eldercall coming out of Obelisk was a little more, I don't want to say serious, but like it was more in that mindset of metal. Metal. Eldercall was a little more, I guess you could say, softer, a little bit more melodic, a little more reaching towards actually maybe expressing joy so much, where Obelisk was more about just, brutality and maybe trying to introduce some kind of element of beauty. But Eldercall, like, it was actually something I struggled with for a long time. Would be like, man, this part sounds so fun, but it also sounds so weird and goofy because it's just this almost isn't metal, but like.
But the problem was, if you want to call it a problem, it sounded good.
It just sounded.
It's like, sure, it didn't sound like what you would expect from like a melodic death metal band,
Right.
or just a metal band in general. It just sounded good and it worked.
It now comes back to that STS.
Serve the song. That's
Serve the song. Yeah.
Serve the song. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we would do is you just have to start, like you said, we would have to lean into it. I just basically, because a lot of it was me being like, I don't know, do you guys really want to do this sort of thing? I don't know if you really want to do this sort of more, is it too happy? Does it sound too happy? I had a lot of like insecurity on it being too happy, and they just kept on encouraging me and reinforcing it's cool, just do it. And so in some moments it was like we just took off with it and just kept on being, if it sounds happy and almost jovial, then
so be it.
Do it.
So be it.
We like to do it
with it.
Like we like to do a thing because, like, I think it's a wonderful contrast to have something that can sound like brutal, something that can sound dark, or something that can sound like you're riding into battle, but then immediately it turns into just this really joyful, kind of euphoric kind of sound. Mm-hmm. I just think the contrasts to those are nice. Because you get
I agree.
one thing, and then you go into the second thing, and it's like, whoa, this is just a breath of fresh air. Mm-hmm. So,
I agree with that. Hey, bud.
What's the boy doing?
Watching his show, and it's kind of washing out you guys a little bit. No, I think that's great. You know, that's another taboo, though, that I want to bring up. So, like death metal, mellow death, or just stuff that's supposed to sound like brutal and like it's like you're supposed to go out and break through walls or speed through traffic, launch yourself off a cliff or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to use the term gatekeeper. People say a death metal song shouldn't depict happiness, but why not? You know?
Yeah.
That's
an example.
Yeah.
Corpse Grinder.
Mm-hmm.
That dude collects teddy bears.
Yeah.
He's a great dad.
He's just a great dad.
You know what I mean? So it's like this misconception that just because, you know, he writes songs about shooting blood from your member or something like that, or you know, the covers are always kind of like a gore kind of looking thing.
Yeah.
People like, well, there's nothing happy in this, or these are miserable people. It's such a misconception, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Dude, like some metal people are some of the goofiest, funnest, like happiest people. Like, it's crazy that it's such a different like context to what they play.
Right.
And to your point, I think like we've tried to bring some of that even before we put it on album form, but like with our stage show. Because we're dumb on stage.
We are.
30, like half of our set is me bombing a stand-up comedy routine.
Yeah.
Just me. You know, but that's how we are in real life. That's how we are off stage with each other. And so we really just wanted to like find a way to, you bring that 100 version of yourself. It's an exaggerated version, but like we still wanted to be us and like silly guys. We wanted the music to speak for itself and be like, we're serious about our music.
Yeah.
But we're fun people.
Like we want our music to transport you to another world, but when you would see us live or like playing, you just want to be like, these guys are goofballs. Like they don't take themselves too seriously.
And we want you to think, hey, even I could do that because we're the
so
guys
lame
in the crowd. That's all we are.
And I think that started even that silly. I feel like that started to kind of like find its way into the music itself in Eldercall because we let ourselves like open up, like I think Alan already said, like we wanted it to be more personal, more honest, more real. You see that a lot through how the songs go and like how the lyrics are and some of that, where it's about like less about I don't want to say we were necessarily posturing an obelisk, but it was a little bit of like this is what you do as a metal band, and now we're like we were younger, learning, we were experiencing and doing that. But now that we're all grown men in our 30s, we're like, we know we get it.
We don't
Like,
give a shit.
I don't need to
Yeah.
put on anything. We don't need
Yeah.
to look us. We're just
Stuff we
just
like.
We're not trying to prove anything to anybody anymore. We're making music the way we want to make it because we like it. How
Exactly.
and we
Yeah.
hope people like it, but if they don't, we do, and we're happy with that.
yes, and we're
Yeah.
happy they do.
And we're happy that you
Yeah.
And I can tell that, and I mean, let's turn this down, bud.
Let's turn this down.
Oh, Will, my guy.
He keeps me on my toes. I tell you that, man.
That's true.
But to your point, man, being true to yourself, being happy people, expressing that in the music and everything, it really does when you just let that all bleed through into the music and being on the stage performing and stuff. It elevates the music, and it also, like in a live setting, it helps people connect with you even more. You know. Not that there's anything wrong with bands like In This Moment or Ghost that have like a stage act, they have like a look or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's authentic to them. That's what they're going for.
yeah.
Yes.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
We just
I'm gonna move
Exactly, Elliot.
I'm gonna move this out to the kitchen.
Do what you need to, my guy. Do what you need to.
He's trying to tell me get out of my room.
Get out of my room. I'm doing things,
Get
Dad.
out of my room, Dad. But anywho, yeah. So I want to dig into Wayfarer a bit here now. Just a segue away from a little bit of that. We're gonna come back to what we were just talking about, but let's do kind of like a behind the music, sort of behind the song thing for Wayfarer, and kind of tell me a little bit more about that track. And if you want to divulge kind of like the meaning behind it, because I know what the word means itself, but what's the point of the song, I guess?
Right.
Do you want to take lyrics
Yeah,
first? Or
yeah. Do you want to talk lyrics or do you want to talk music?
Oh, you could take it from whatever. There's no wrong start here.
I'll do lyrics and
Yeah,
you
start
guys
lyrics.
can jump in there. Yeah, just to give an idea. So like,
He does all the lyrics.
yeah,
Okay.
Shane did one track on this album.
Yeah, I do lyrics sometimes.
Yes. But we did so to explain like my thoughts sometimes, like when I'm writing stuff, it's like a lot of the time I like to get to a certain point with where the music is to kind of see, as cheesy as it sounds, let the song kind of help me understand what it needs to be about and kind of let the song tell me.
Mhm.
And how I do that is just kind of like listening to it and just kind of seeing what words come to my mind first and feeling that out and kind of like instead of going in with the plan. And like a lot of the time, yes, it's influenced into like what's going on in my life and things like that. So like for me, like what Wayfarer really is about and like thinking about like the wording and all that kind of stuff is it's about like having the strength to make a decision to do something good for yourself, even if that means sometimes you have to leave people behind to do it.
Okay.
That can mean like a lot of different things. And I kind of saddled it in the motif of like, you're flying in your spaceship across the stars because, that you're going for this bigger, beautiful, different thing, leaving a dying planet behind. Partly I love sci-fi. So that's also coming into that too. But I also just thought it was just a really good comparison of like, you can't stay in a situation that's not, you shouldn't stay in a situation that's not good for you, even if you're the one, if you're causing it or life's causing it or whatever else. And sometimes it's really hard. And sometimes you have to make a decision for yourself that feels like I am going to leave this. I'm going to leave this exploding planet behind myself to go
Fly into the unknown.
fly into the unknown. And, it's a hard place to be. And that's why but throughout the song and like one of my thoughts with that is like, it's always about like reflecting back of like, I'm not telling you that I hate you. I'm not telling you that like, I can't be here. It's like, I have to do something for myself. I have to do this and I hope you can understand, but if you can't, I still need to do it. And I think it's just something that sometimes I've grappled with in the past and just like needing to make decisions for myself and do everything. And like, that's been like a lot of ups and downs of finding myself and like wanted that to come across in the lyrics in a lot of ways too. But I also wanted to kind of keep it somewhat general so anybody could slot themselves into the situation
and interpret it in the way that speaks to him, basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what you'll see hopefully when the album comes out, that I try to do that was not every song, but a lot of the songs I try to keep it that way, because I love a song that's extremely personal down to like I know everything about what this person's singing about. But I also like songs that you can connect and find yourself in and find your meaning in. And as a lyricist, that's the direction I really wanted to take myself into with the lyrics too.
So it's like, hey, you can put your spin in on it, but then also someone else can listen to it and kind of see something and hear something different.
Yeah, because that always means something. I mean, that's what art is, right?
Yeah.
We can look at the same, painting, but
Mhm.
get something different out of it than you do. And I wanted that to be the experience of anyone to get what they needed out of the song if they needed to get something out of the song. So.
No, I love that, man. It's a very good way of approaching, because any writer, like I've written lyrics for, I don't know, close to 30 years now, I think. And well, no, not quite that long, because I didn't start at 7. But, but I've been doing it for a little while. So when I have someone read something I wrote, I've had him say, "Oh, so is this about that?" And I'll say, "Well, it's actually about this, but I love your interpretation though too." So the open interpretation of music is a beautiful thing, because a lot of people, like let's say people that have a lot of trauma, like for just as an example. So we were talking about perception of people in the metal community right earlier on in this. Something that you probably wouldn't peg about me is that lately I'm actually a pretty big fan of Youngblood lately. I felt that there's a lot of his songs that really talk about some very valid and relevant things.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a song called Zombie on a record he just put out that really spoke to me. And so he had his own reason for writing that. You had your reason for writing Wayfarer. But the way it speaks to the person, if they have a trauma, is part of their healing process.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, and exactly. And like music has always been so important for me for how I process anything. Whether that's playing with the band or listening to stuff. And like, so, there's been a lot of hard times. Certain albums are for certain periods of my life. And when I listen to them, I think back to those things because they help me get through them. And if I could do that for one person, that would be, I could quit music forever.
Yeah.
And be fine with it.
Because I do that in my professional life too, outside of the band, where I work with people, and I've worked in the mental health field before this, and like I want people to know that they're not alone, and they have someone, that there's always someone that understands where they're coming from.
Yes. Yeah.
Can express that,
Yeah. So again, just another example for those that are watching. You see him, he's got a beard, he's got, his hat on and everything in a metal band. Most people wouldn't expect someone to have such a grounded kind of, empathetic sort of view as far as like the mental state of people. You did in that field you just said, and just to put it out there, that was probably mentally taxing for you being in that field itself too.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it gave me a lot of perspective and a lot of understanding, and gave me, like you said, a new empathy on life and like with people within it, and like, so it's about knowing, and it helped me also realizing a lot of times that I wasn't alone with some of the things I was dealing with too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And individually for you three, what are some of your proud moments during the making of this record? Like, what songs are you really eager for people to hear that you think will do what we've been talking about as far as like helping them through something, or things of that nature?
Oh man. I'll let one of you guys answer first because I've been talking.
No, you're fine. So specifically, can we talk about the next single that's coming out?
Yeah, talk about it.
Okay.
It's coming out next week.
So the single that's coming out next week it's probably our most personal one. That is very well, right?
Yeah, it's very
Yeah. So our next single that's coming out is the most personal one, specifically lyrically, because we had we experienced some tragedies, of course, over the past ever since the band started. We tried to start the band almost immediately right before COVID, and then COVID hit and it canceled everything. It knocked a lot of wind out of our sails.
We flew all the way out to Philadelphia to buy a bus the week that it happened, and we got it, and we came back, and then everything stopped. Everyone got locked out. So we had tours booked up and never got to do it.
So that was a big heartbreaker, and then not maybe 2 or 3 years after that. I think 2. We lost 2 good friends. I think it was 2021. Yeah. So we lost 2 good friends within a week. Of each other, and that was just we were already. And I know me personally, I was already pretty well heartbroken, and then that happened, and that was just terrible. So
I can imagine.
So actually being able to make a piece of music, and it's kind of an homage to them, at least to as like a remembrance of them, So that's been great. So that's a really big. That's great to be able to do something like that, because like I said, in the old days, the music was so much more impersonal, and able to make something so personal and trying to approach it in such an honest way as we can. Speaking like you're talking about, you see this big gruff bearded man talking about emotion. That's what we exist for. That's what especially these 3 people we've been friends since high school, and me and him
we're brothers, and they're related.
Yeah. And so that's sort of always been our thing. That we've always been sort of the weirdos in the metal community, because you had the rough gruff true cult people, and we're like, hey guys, have you played Final Fantasy?
I sure like Bloodborne.
And if you were anything like me, I was quoting, Vegeta, it's over 9,000, all the time,
Yeah, exactly.
So and it's the proud moment is, any of the times whenever we did just decide to say, you know what, screw it, we are just going to be those people on record instead of being the people that you see on stage or in person, and then the music is totally different. I wanted the music to sound a little more like, oh, these people wrote it, because it sounds a little. It has such an intense dichotomy of light and dark at the same time, and and being able to find the balance between the two is what always needs. I feel like we want to try to express in almost any of our music, or even especially overcoming hardship. Overcoming hardship is a big thing in a lot of our music.
Oh yeah.
And I think the next one that we're coming out with is a very direct expression of that, and that's a very proud moment, I think, for me personally, I think for all of us, but especially me.
That makes me super eager to hear that one, because I'm all about stuff like that.
Yeah, it Farewell has direct, lyrically too, has direct nods to the friends that we lost, and just we're happy to be able to finally bring it out, be able to get all of this out. And when you want to talk about proudest moments, is kind of like what he was talking about earlier, is like how we write this music, our music is serious, but we don't have to be all that serious. That's something that I like to see happen when we play out live, where people will get to know us before we go on stage, and we're just silly goofballs, and then they'll hear something that we do and they'll just be like, wow, that sounds kind of big, it's got a big sound to it. And but you guys are just stupid. And that's what makes me proud, because I like to be able to like
subvert
expectations.
Mhm.
I like to be able to produce like a sound that's just like, whoa, that people like. But they look at you, they're like, wow, I can't believe that dope. They did that. So
Mhm.
They
Well,
cover a lot of the things I would have said, but I will say, on a personal note, one of the things I'm proudest of is that I got to actually lay down a musical instrument track on the album, like actually getting to play bass. Because before I've played instruments before, but like I just was in Obelisk, I was only vocals. So
Okay.
it was cool because I never thought I'd be good enough to actually play an instrument on an album. So for me, it was just a really big like, wow, I did it! Look at you go! You actually got to put music on this. So
you did the damn thing.
it was a really big proud moment for me. Maybe not everybody else, but that
Album number 2, he'll be busting out the sax.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Sax man.
Sax man.
I'm glad you got the why am I
Reference.
forgetting what that's called?
Reference.
Anyway, yeah, no, that's awesome, guys. So it took a while to make this record. It was like several years, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of that probably had to do with COVID, like you were just saying, that time of all the shutdown and everything. But all that, like it sounds like with Farewell, it probably really fueled the tank also, like venting all that out during that time, lockdowns and maybe not being able to work or, just all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm surprised that there's going to be like those moments of like happy kind of things on the record, light in contrast of the dark. I mean, it just makes total sense,
Mhm.
and the more we talk, the more the album art makes sense too, So,
I mean, it's life doesn't life's a grayscale. It's not all bad or all good, and that's kind of what the music kind of shows.
Yeah,
I hope.
right.
Take the good with the bad, and just
Take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
Facts of life. My opening statement.
You guys are just full of quotes from things I love. Not to get off on a tangent, but my wife, she doesn't necessarily like that humor that's just really stupid, a little bit belligerent. So stuff like from WAYFARER or I love Tropic Thunder. And I quote Robert Downey Jr. from that movie all the time. She's like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "But isn't that funny?
Isn't that funny?"
The other dude, it's like, so
yeah.
We love all that except for Alan.
Except for Alan. Alan's a stick in the mud.
I'm a stick in the mud.
He's no fun.
I like cartoons.
I like fun.
I like SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob makes me laugh.
Sitting in his living room in the morning in his, SpongeBob SquarePants gear, singing along to the intro song. One of you guys walk in, he's like, "Oh,
thanks all." Yeah.
But so, is there anything about like music videos that you guys are gonna try and do, or like lyric videos and stuff?
Man, we've talked about it forever, in terms of doing a music video. But it just, to do what we really want to do with one is going to cost money.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like we could do like a playthrough video in a warehouse, or we could just not, and just, like everybody else, just save our money and put it towards other stuff.
When it comes to like that side of like the expression of the band, I'm extremely picky about it, and I would rather go without than
settle.
To settle. Have something that comes out, and then that, like, I just look back on that and I'm like,
oops.
But it's maybe like later on down the road at some point when we can, when we get like the funds and like the connections and be able to like, set something up and work with I guess what you would call a director or whatever, for that type of thing. With George Lucas. Yeah,
he dies.
I heard he's not doing Star Wars anymore, so maybe.
No.
But
because he's going to need the money, I'm sure.
right.
The funny thing is, I actually know a couple of guys that are friends of mine in bands that do the film and production like that. Like my friends in Labor 12, those guys make their own music videos. They film everything themselves. They have a production company with it and everything. And then a friend of mine in a band called See This Through, he does all their music videos and lyric videos and editing too. You know,
I mean,
they live really far from you guys though. Like Labor 12 is Lubbock, Texas. So I mean that's not the furthest away from you guys, but and then See This Through, I want to say that they're I can't remember actually where he lives, but anyway, I know people, but
Yeah.
See, but that gets back to the problem with having to be a band in the modern era.
Yeah.
The only thing you don't working on your music is like a tenth of everything else that you have to think about.
Yeah.
Because it's like you have to wear way too many hats.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we could put that hat on too, but for us, it's like, we'll just leave that hat at the store and we're going to focus on the hats we got.
Yeah.
For right now.
So if the opportunity comes and you guys see we can make a music video right now, then maybe that'll be the time that it happens.
Yeah.
Is what I understand. Yeah. I mean, that's smart. You don't want to put so much on your plate that's beyond your means. You know? Because that creates tensions, not just in bands, but just in life in general. When you put too much on your plate, and then you get stressed that you're not getting every one of those boxes checked off, and you're thinking it's because you're not capable of doing it. Well, the problem is just you're putting too much on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on things a little bit at a time where you can actually get those goals realistically instead of setting something that's going to take you 10 years to get to and then stress about that finish line.
Yeah. Don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing.
Yeah. You got the whole ass, you know.
Yeah.
Like the whole ass from Nutty Professor, you know. But no, I agree with you guys. I think when that time comes, I'm excited if there is a music video for something off the album. I honestly think Wayfarer would be the perfect choice, or Farewell, when I hear it.
Yeah.
But
we may do like a lyric.
If anything, that's a lot easier to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to mess with something like that.
Yeah. But as for like a full production, not right now.
But if
and then go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, but if we could, it'd be great.
Yeah, you would. So what's the reception been so far for Wayfarer in general from people?
It's been really positive. I've been really happy to see that because, you know, I was really anxious putting it out, as we all probably were, to put this thing finally out here that we had been working on. I was like, what if people just hate it? And so, because you don't know, you never know. Like, hey, this is the best thing ever. But then people hear and be like, you guys are fucking stupid.
It's like, what? Oh, here comes the army of gatekeepers. It's like, oh God, what's that?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We've had, I mean, it has been very, very positive all the way across the board. People have really enjoyed it. I mean, you know, like you reaching out to us to do this is like something I would not have ever expected to have happen releasing this album. So like for us, it's like we're hitting milestone after milestone and like milestones we didn't expect or even think about.
Yeah, I didn't even think about. Yeah.
So it's been really awesome because I mean, like, you know, not posting in a long time, not playing shows in a while. We were not sure what it would be like, you know, like we're a local band from Nashville and like, when we were Obelisk before we quit, we had a following, but it's been years, you know, so we didn't know where we were going to start from. So the fact that we haven't started at square zero and we're actually like further beyond that, people are engaging with it and listening to it and like all the things like it's meant the world. And it's just been like even though the whole album's not even out yet, I already consider it a success. I'm over the moon already.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Success isn't just numbers.
Yes.
It's not just accolades or anything like that. Success to me, like back when I first started this, you know, I remember when my page only had like 9 people following it on Facebook, you know, and I'm creeping on 600 now, and it's just been just a little bit over or under 2 years since I launched it, you know. And I've had people on this podcast that I didn't think would even bat an eye at me, because some of them have been really established people in the industry, like Paul McCoy from 12 Stones, you know. He has a Grammy, you know. And then Will Martin from a band called Earshot, if you're familiar with that band, he was on. 2 people I wasn't sure would even, you know, say yes to me, because, you know, I'm not Kerrang, I'm not Loudwire, I'm not Metal Injection, you know, or anything. Not that I care to be. That's not the point I'm making. But it's stuff like that I say is success. If anybody's paying attention at all, then you've done what you set out to do, and when it keeps happening, you're successful. You know, it's not just revenue; it's not just numbers. You know, so
no, I completely agree. It's about like there's so much more to like what you said. There's just so much more to it than just like checking those boxes of like, because I mean, we accepted a long time ago we're not making money. We picked the wrong genre,
in the wrong city,
wrong genre, wrong city.
So the motivation of just making music for us, and
that's what's there. That's what keeps us going.
And so through people connecting with it, that just
we're doing. I don't know if you guys saw it in the description for this when I typed it up, but I put in there that when you think of Nashville, Tennessee, you probably think about country music and not melodic death metal. You know, because that's just the fact of the matter. You know, a lot of country artists go to Nashville to get discovered. You know,
a lot of them show up here and get really disappointed too.
Yeah.
You know what would be really funny? You guys come out onto the stage for a future show and you're dressed up like cowboys.
We never thought to do that.
Because we are from Nashville. Why have we never thought of that?
Are. Gosh, thank you, Will. We might have to do
it. You have an acoustic guitar there with you, and then like you could have a metal or steel slide instead of your keyboard. And then when you get up there, you take off that acoustic, you just toss it or something, you kick over the steel slide, and I just hit my foot on the table.
I heard it.
You kick over your steel slide, you put on your keyboards, and you all get your instruments, and then you just start belting it out, and people are just like, huh?
That's the goal.
So that's a great idea.
We did a whole set in sea captain hats in a landlocked state.
Yeah,
but we did
awesome.
Think about the cowboy idea.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. That could be your guys' little thing that you do every now and then. Come out like cowboys one set, then the next set you come out dressed like the guys from Baywatch or something.
Well, we got some gym time to hit before we get the Baywatch.
I mean, dad bods are in, man. Yeah. I know you guys said you may not be parents. I can't remember if you said you are or not, but the dad bod's a dad bod.
That's true.
Maybe. Heck yeah.
But anyways, so you touched on what you guys are hoping for when the album comes out. There's the anxiety that goes with that and everything. So once that does actually fully release, there's going to be that sigh of relief, the fact that it's not under wraps anymore, right? But then there's going to come that second wave of anxiety where you guys are waiting for, okay, so what are people going to say now that everything's out there? All of it's on the table. You could go out, you could dissect it, you could write up reviews for it, and people start, that's going to be scary, I'm sure. Because you guys poured a lot into this record. You put a lot of yourselves into it. You love the music that's on it, but it's a whole other animal to set it free.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of just want people to say something.
Like
just to hear someone say something.
Like just say something. I mean, like you don't have to say like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. You tell me you hate it.
But tell me why you hate
Tell me why you hate it.
Yeah, why do you hate it?
Yeah.
That's okay. Give me criticism. Criticism is great.
Talk to everybody else about why you hate it.
Why you hate it. Yeah.
Everyone else is going to go look into see what's so bad about this band. And then
Yeah, what is it?
You don't make it so you have some haters, right?
No, yeah, right?
exactly.
But
I would agree to a point. Yeah.
Some haters, not a whole bunch.
no, you don't want a whole crowd of them.
Yeah.
But you want a
No.
few stinky Jims out there saying,
Who is that? Someone just caught my eye outside of my house, parked in front of my. I don't know him. I don't know you.
That's my purse.
I figured you would get that one too.
Yeah.
That goes back too, isn't it?
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I haven't watched
It's on the way back. It's on the way.
Yeah, on the way back.
Mhm.
But no, I just want to say congrats in general to you guys. The fact that you've got this record finished, it's going to be coming out. That in itself is a success too. The fact that you completed it and it's going to come out at all. Because there's a lot of projects that start, a whole album gets recorded, and then nothing ever happens with it.
This one was
For
very
one
close.
reason or another. Yeah.
It was very close.
Thank God that didn't come to fruition to the other alternative.
Hey, I mean, if the only song you like is Wayfarer on the whole thing, that's more than enough for me. We made
I
something
agree.
that one person enjoyed.
Mhm.
I want to put this out there. So I was playing a game earlier this morning, and I had Wayfarer playing on my headphones, and I was fighting a boss. Oh man, it fueled me up. It hyped me up, and I kicked that thing down.
That's one of our dreams.
That is a dream.
Yeah, I've done that since I was a kid. I remember when Final Fantasy VII came out, and I got the
language now, baby.
yeah, I got the Sephiroth, right? And I put on Hell's Bells by AC/DC.
Yeah.
And I just went to town on that dude. I'm like, this is for Aerith. This is for stabbing her through the stomach, you son of a bitch. You know?
You get that long sword and get out of here.
Dude,
Yeah, not that long sword, the other long
the
sword.
other one. I used to play like Soul Calibur and
Yeah,
in just all sorts of fighting games, and I would just blast like all my metal to it because it's like, I mean, sure,
Children of Bodom.
yeah, children. I play like Children of Bodom.
oh man, R.I.P. Alexi.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
yeah.
Alexi.
R.I.P.
But yeah,
But yeah, no, that's a fun thing about you guys. Like, I'm having a blast talking with you, and it's just
same man.
the fact that you're like that. I know that the record's going to be badass.
Oh, thank you.
It can't be any other alternative, right? It just can't.
yeah.
I mean, there's always an alternative.
Yeah, there's going to be a bonus track, a secret track, like there used to be back in the day when, because we're old now,
Right.
back in the day where you could skip through like 15 minutes into a song that was supposed to be 4 minutes long, and those secret track plays.
Mhm.
On the Eldercall album, there's going to be a cover of a Backstreet Boys song or something on there.
Just hiding back there. Or it's gonna be I'm the disco godfather.
That's an element. I have a lot of random hits from when I'm behind the mic in the studio.
Yeah.
Or I'll just say shit. I was just thinking about Cheez-Its.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Jesus. Like, because when we're recording him, he'll just like be getting into it, and he's already naturally just like nutty. So
Yeah.
a lot of times something funny happens, and Alan will always clip it, and then he'll put it somewhere and he keeps it later.
Without
That's great.
track of just my burps, because we probably have enough
Hey, sometimes you can't tell if it's a burp in like extreme death metal anyways. Sometimes you don't know.
You just don't know. I mean, I did it live.
You
People
just
didn't
don't
know.
know. Fun fact though, I used to hate screams and gutturals and growls in music.
Mhm.
I went through a period of time where I thought that stuff was just the most talentless, pointless sounding thing in a song.
Mhm.
And the turning point was when I started listening to Linkin Park. And then from Linkin Park, I started listening to bands like Soilwork, where it was melodic, but you had those gutturals and those death metal vocals in it. And I started to realize, and I attempted to do it myself. And I'm like, well, now my throat hurts. And there's definitely a technique there, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just yelling at a mic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I used to. I mean, you know,
Despite what everyone's grandmother
It's,
says.
despite there's so it's just I wouldn't say it's just as, but it is very complicated. Like you said, there's a lot of technique, and
Yeah.
that is every time we want to share it to one of our family members or something, it's like, you know, it'd be better if it didn't have all that screaming.
All that screaming in it.
Yeah. I'm the most hated member of this band.
That used to be my exact words. It would be better if there were some clean parts in it.
Which we are there on this album. There is one clean.
Farewell. You'll hear
Farewell,
it.
Yeah, you'll hear it when it comes out.
Yeah.
There's
Awesome.
one of this guy back here.
There's definitely something we want to.
So he's the crooner. He's the crooner, and he's the screaming banshee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Shane's somewhere in the middle because he does backup for.
Yeah,
I do backup.
Shane's the guy on the keyboards with the disco hat on and a disco ball above him, making the catchy beats. And doing...
Boots and cats, dude.
Boots and cats, baby.
But to start wrapping this up, what's in the pipeline for current, besides the obvious, and then future? Like, what can you guys say about what's not too far off of the line, you know, down the road?
Well, right now, so of course, album coming out and all that stuff. We're already sort of kind of maybe working on stuff for a follow-up eventually. Because we just got to that is also part of the reason we wanted to finally get this guy out here.
Yeah, so we can work on new things.
Because we have ideas, and we've had ideas, and we wanted to really pursue those too. But we knew we couldn't until we shat this turd. You know, you know what I mean?
It's a lot of laxatives, man.
Yeah. And so I would say that we got more coming. It will not be another 4 years between releases, I don't think. I hope anyway. We will see at least.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that all sounds good to me. And then this is a fun one. I don't know if any of you guys had anything else to add to the future and current plans. If you do, you could say it before I move on to the next thing.
No, I was just gonna express the same thing. It was just really just working on more music and all right now. We haven't really planned too much. No, we haven't really planned shows or anything. We're sort of waiting to feel like what's the response, how we're doing before we, start doing shows and stuff again. Because we're kind of in the, you were talking about Catatonia earlier, they started out as just like a studio project, and we, because of how everything turned out with, COVID and everything for us, we basically just sort of decided to gear down to that for the moment.
Yeah.
So we're still kind of in that studio project sort of phase. Yeah. But if we,
if the right things happen, the right things happen.
If the right things happen, then yes. I mean, we're willing to, get back out there and see about doing some more shows and stuff. But as for right now, we're just enjoying being able to be as creative as we want to be.
Yeah.
When we can.
Like we're going to be able to actually focus as always since Asgard, which was our very first project, into Obelisk, we've always been like, go, show, work. Or when I say work, I mean work on music.
Right.
Like, show right. Now, since we're kind of easing back on shows, we can just write. So hopefully we're going to be able to like get stuff out like way, way quicker. Mm-hmm. This is something that
we are sitting on quite a pile of things.
Yeah.
This was something that you literally just had my brain remember I was going to ask this. So pre-wrap up will be this question, then we'll wrap up. Okay. So the thing about how a lot of bands right now are doing singles or EPs because full albums look like, at least right now, people don't have the attention for it or necessarily the care for it as much as what they used to. Because I still love the full album experience. That's how I prefer it.
Yeah.
But for Eldercall, are you guys going to still stick with an album format for future releases? Or do you want to do like singles maybe an EP here and there, possibly another full album, more singles kind of thing. You know, what makes the most sense?
I
Probably a little bit of both.
I was thinking a little bit of both.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. It just kind of depends because, you know, you were talking earlier about, you know, you catch some senses of like prog. You know, like I especially, and him too a little bit. I'm a big fan of like progressive music. I love Porcupine Tree and Opeth and, you know, Between the Buried and Me,
Tangerine Dream.
Oh, those guys, yes.
And, you know, so like,
And I'm not the biggest fan of them.
yeah, not at all.
Some, yes.
But like, you know, if we have a concept, I've always wanted to do a concept album. So like, I feel like if there is a full concept, and no matter how long that concept is, whether it be a 15-minute EP or, you know, an hour epic of some kind, as long as the entire concept is fully recognized, then that'll probably be, you know, whether it be an EP or an album or a double LP or something, you know.
Ooh, double LPs are rare these days.
Right?
Very rare.
As far as like, you know, planning on what we plan to do, I think in the most immediate future, it's probably going to be more EP based, but I could see it very easily and probably quickly becoming more album based as well.
Because I mean, if we write the songs, they fit together, and it makes sense to put them out as an album.
Yeah,
we're gonna put them out as an album.
Mm-hmm.
But if we write a song, you're like, that's great, but that's doesn't make sense with anything else we got.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, here's a cool single instead of like throwing it in the graveyard like that often happens.
Yeah, because like so many times you'll write a song and be like, well, we got to drop it because it doesn't mesh with the rest.
It doesn't mesh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't mesh with the album. So being able to just release it as a single, you still get to hear it, and it doesn't, you know, mess up the mix of the whole album. So
yeah. And it gives us space potentially to experiment a little bit even more, because it's like if we throw a single out there that we're like, I wonder how people are going to receive that, and then we can get a real answer, you know, instead of following that rabbit hole and writing a whole album of it, and everyone's like, that's ass, why would you even think
why would you even think of this?
You know? No. Yeah, but that's the,
because, you know, not every
go
I was just gonna say, because not everything works out when you try something.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and I think
it might work for the band, but not the fans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's the bane and the boon both of the internet and like how the modern release market works. It's like,
right,
you have the freedom to be able to release it how you want to release it, but at the same time, they're at the same time with like the full lengths, people don't engage with them. And I mean, because I talk to people all the time, I'm like, how often do you sit and listen to an album? And you know, most people don't. You know, they have playlists, this and whatever else. I'm still very much so like when I want to listen to something, I'm like, I want to listen to this whole album, or at least most of the album, or something like that.
I'm the same.
Because I get into a mood, I get into like an idea, and a playlist never ever can satisfy the same way that just
just can't.
Especially if you're listening to a playlist and it plays one of the songs from an album you absolutely love, and then your instinctual reaction is to start the next song when it's over.
And then it's
a different artist, a different song. It just changes up. I'm like, that did something to my DNA.
You know, and I like.
I know. Go ahead.
All I was gonna say is like, you know, we try to. Like, I know, like, me, Alan, and Drake have had nights where we're like, let's just listen to an album together and just, like, talk about it. And, like, and then Shane, too, we've just sat down and watched live footage or, like, just go through, like, hey, remember this song? Hey, remember this song? And let's just talk about all these songs and, like, music in that way. And, like, I think that's something that's lost to some degree that people don't do anymore, but it's something that it's very important to us to continue to do.
Yeah.
So I agree wholeheartedly with that. Hey, bud. This kid is a French fry addict.
Little French fry boy.
Yeah. A whole tray of fries I cooked up for lunch, gone.
None for you.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Which brings me to my pretty much my closing question. It's a funny one to ask because it's just so random. But food-wise or drink-wise, which one of those things or both things would describe Eldercall?
food wise or drink wise.
So you're saying we're Eldercall is a hamburger. Like that's how you want us to answer this question? Okay.
Yeah, basically
I don't
something like
think we are, but I'm
I
just.
think we're Golden Corral.
We're a buffet.
We're a
Buffet.
We kind of are a buffet.
I know.
You can kind of take a little bit of everything you want, compile your perfect plate, and
Yeah.
kind of have a good time. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I think we're more Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper has
23 flavors.
has 23
flavors.
It has 23 flavors, right? But none of those flavors are in conflict. They all work together towards a final goal, being the
Unison.
taste of Dr. Pepper, right? And so for us, we do have a lot of that. We all have these interconnecting flavors and goals within the music,
Yeah.
but it's all about lining up to have that refreshing cold taste of Dr. Pepper.
You
know?
said it.
Honestly, can't disagree with that logic at all.
Yeah.
And I could have ever put that, actually. Good job, Willie.
I was gonna say milk.
Yes,
We're milk.
We are a bland flavor that I love.
That I love.
But I can't have milk anymore. Not as
I don't remember which band it was that I interviewed, but one of the guys in the band described their music is that experience you get when you eat Taco Bell and you love it while it's happening, and then later there's regret.
There's regret. Yeah. Oh yeah. That or Waffle House.
that or all.
Yeah. But anyways, before we wrap up, you guys want to tell people where they could find you on social media and where the music is at?
Sure. So we're you can find us at facebook.com at Eldercall Official. Same thing on Instagram at Eldercall Official, and on Threads at Eldercall Official. You can also email us at eldercallofficial@gmail.com. But you can find our music for streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, and pretty much any other streaming platform you can think of. We're there. Like I said, next single will drop next Thursday, the July 17th. That'll be Farewell, and then the album's out August 1st.
August 1st.
Closure. But listen to wherever you can. Tell us whatever you think about it, whether you hate us or hate it, or if you love it. We just want people. We just want to know.
Or
what people
you
think.
just love us.
Or you just love
us.
If whatever you want. But yeah, so that would be the best way. And if anyone wants to get in contact with us for questions or whatever, just shoot us an email at that eldercallofficial@gmail.com.
Right on.
We're also on band. We also have a Bandcamp, Eldercall Official at Bandcamp. We have t-shirts for sale, and the album will be for sale on there as well. And if you buy a t-shirt, you get an album.
And I'll just say right now, everyone, the t-shirts are badass. Okay. Really cool.
Thank you.
Make it me.
Thank you, Will.
Yeah, but man, loved having you guys on.
Being
Gonna
here.
go ahead and end the stream and wrap it up, but you guys can go ahead and stay on for just a moment once I hit the end stream if you want to. And but yeah, thank you for coming on. This has been really fun. I haven't laughed this much on an interview in a while. Not that everyone
Success.
depressing or anything, but yeah, lovely people, everybody. This has been Eldercall again. Like they said, first single is out right now. That's Wayfarer. Second one comes out July 17th. Farewell. Album full release August 1st. Check it out. All right.
Thanks, guys.